Hello everyone, it's Daphne, aka Yogi Ranger here. This is where you can come to develop your personal awareness for inner peace, resilience, and connection to nature's wisdom for self-healing and vibrant health. So today we're going to talk about what to do if you've been feeling a little sluggish, slow, puffy, or bogged down. Late winter into springtime is known as kapha season in Ayurveda, and it's ruled by the elements of earth and water. It's normal to feel sluggish at this time of year because we're feeling the heavy, the wet, cold, lethargic, and enduring qualities of kapha dosha. So during this time of year, in the Northern Hemisphere, we've gone through the rain, the snow, and cold temperatures of winter, and as a result, the earth is heavy and wet. It's also very likely that we've naturally been eating heavier foods during the colder weather of winter, and we may have even indulged some during the holidays. We tend to move a little less and sleep a little more during this time of the year as well. It's all a natural part of adjusting to the seasons. But this can lead to a feeling of heaviness in the body and the mind. We may have put on some extra weight. We may feel like sleeping in, unmotivated. We might have slower, sluggish digestion. These are all signs of excess kapha in our system. And Ayurveda teaches that opposites create balance, and living in sync with seasonal changes, including eating seasonal foods, forms the basis for our optimal health and longevity. So as we head into spring, it's time to melt away the accumulation of excess kapha that makes us sluggish in our body and mind. But how do we do this? How do we remove the excess kapha dosha? First off, start by eating lighter and warmer. So don't eat cold foods or drinks and avoid heavier foods. Keep your dinners especially light and have your biggest meal of the day for lunch. Get moving. Ideally, start your day by moving your body. You can walk, run, do flow styles of yoga such as sun salutations, or any other form of vigorous activity. The kapha time in the morning is between 6 and 10 a.m., so get moving during this time of day because it's when your body is at its strongest, and breaking a sweat is really good for balancing kapha dosha. Aim to wake up by 6 a.m. If you sleep into the kapha time of morning, it's harder to get up and get going once that heavier energy sets in. Also, drink hot water throughout the day to help flush your digestive tract. Cook with ginger and warming spices to stoke your digestive fire, and don't eat if you aren't hungry. Be productive. Make a to-do list and get a couple things crossed off each day. And finally, eat seasonally. Spring is the perfect time to switch up your diet, change your routine, and get moving. And following a seasonal diet means that we'll have natural fluctuations in our weight throughout the year. Spring is a natural time to detox and shed the extra weight of winter. So unless you live in the equatorial regions of the world, we are hardwired to gain weight in the fall in order to insulate and store fuel for the long, cold, and dark winter months. But then as springtime rolls around, it's the perfect time to shed those extra pounds by shifting your primary source of fuel from carbohydrates to fats. In other words, this is the best time of the year for the body to become ketogenic. Historically, foods that were high in carbs and starches became scarce by springtime, and people had to rely on their stored nuts and seeds, roots, and beans, along with spring greens and meats that were hunted, and the fats that they provided. So here's how we can put this into tangible action. During the months of March, April, May, and June, greatly reduce or even completely eliminate grains and dairy from your diet. Try it for 1 month so you can reset your body to burn fat rather than carbs as its primary source of fuel. And then at the end of the month, you might decide that you want to continue it for another month or two, or you can even follow it for the entire 4 months of spring, if that feels good for you. Then in July, you can start to add more carbs through grains and also dairy back into your diet if you tolerate them. If your gut is out of balance, eating seasonally like this can give it a chance to heal so that if you have minor sensitivities to foods like gluten and dairy, you might find that you can add them back in without having problems. Spring is also a great time of year to include beans in your diet because they are dry and astringent and help balance the wet, rainy, heavy springtime. Remember that opposites balance. Now, if you have trouble digesting beans, try sprouting them first to make them more digestible and cook them in a pressure cooker or, my favorite, an Instant Pot. You can also include nuts and seeds, meats if you eat them, seafood and poultry, and healthy fats such as ghee, coconut, avocado, and olive oil, along with eating lots of non-starchy vegetables. And then restrict foods that have any added sweeteners during this time of the year, and only eat fruit in moderation because these will bring the carb level too high to promote ketosis. If you think about it, very few fruits are naturally available in the spring except maybe for apples that were stored over winter, along with some berries and citrus fruits. And it's better to eat tart varieties of apples like Granny Smith's. Also avoid really sweet fruits during spring like bananas, melons, and mangoes. And again, instead just stick with small amounts of tart apples, berries, lemons, limes, and grapefruit. Oranges have been bred to be extremely sweet, so they're not the best choice for citrus. And then lastly, like any health-conscious diet, restrict all refined and processed foods during this time period, which you'll probably be doing anyway if you're really avoiding grains. So by following this seasonal guideline, we can reset our digestion, burn fat, and prepare the body to give us the more stable energy that we need to navigate the long days and short nights of summer. And just know that you aren't alone in making changes. Nature is also shifting with the seasonal change. Notice the blossoms popping out on the trees and the new growth emerging after winter. We are, after all, a part of nature, and nature is a part of us. So wishing you a vibrant health. Namaste. I'll see you next time.